be like, wonder what Raoul's doing, wonder what I was doing last night.
Yeah, didn't answer the phone the first time.
Fair enough. So you were
60,000 how Patricia Clark kidnapped the baby boy named Azaslim. That's Patricia without the I at the end. Equals 60,450 plus 36 equals 60,486. FAEODIKJCHNXRPTL. So anagram for channel, report, kidnap. So I've written report, kidnapped channel. That equals 60,670 plus 45 equals 60,715. FAEOGMSLDIUVRKNPXWHXHW. So anagram for kidnap, happen, kill, killed, pills, hid, wank,
that's right.
rave,
I remember the Tiki Taka. It was Tiki Taka yesterday. It was Tiki Taka. Yes.
I love
so I need Interpol.
I'm so happy for genuinely.
When you write Patricia with the I, it's 60,460 plus 35. No, that's wrong. It's 60,645. 60,640 plus 35 equals 60,000. Okay, that's wrong. That's wrong, but the first one's right. And Patricia Clark, I remember her from nursery school, Temple. From nursery school, I didn't see her in Temple Primary School, but I saw her brothers in primary school. And Wayne Henry and Christopher Henry, they went to Abraham Moss High School as well. The Jamaican dinner lady in Temple Primary School was making dirty videos of children and in the boys' toilets. And the girls used to regularly expose themselves, the young girls at my age, at the age of 6, 7. And it was like it was an everyday thing there. And I didn't see Patricia Clark after I saw Patricia Clark in nursery school, and then I remember being blindfolded, and then I remember being in someone's house where the Asian lady sat there with all white shalwar kameez on, and she looked like Zarina, Naveed's mother, my brother-in-law's mother. And then I disappeared, and then I was blindfolded for 2 years in Rochdale. Then they moved me to Manchester, aged 4, and I went to Temple Primary School, where I saw Christopher and Wayne Henry there again from Rochdale, and I didn't see Patricia Clark, but then I saw Patricia Clark when I was like 37 years old, 36 years old in Park House Mental Hospital. She was working as an agency worker, working in the Park House Mental Hospital, and I was eating Jamaican food, Jamaican fish and rice, and she said, "You're eating our food." In Urdu, that translates as you're carrying our food. And you could say ka means ark as well, and ark means saying. Saying and eating is read back and forward. So you're arking our food means you're saying our food. And I was writing about how drug dealers have kidnapped me and how Jamaicans have planted drugs on me, and she was talking about how you're talking about their drugs and how you talk about their food. And I didn't realize it then, but I really realize it all makes sense now. I'm going to rewrite this code and see what Patricia Clark with the I equals. But somehow the predictive text misguided me there. But the I is missing from Patricia Clark, and it's Pater Rika, which it actually makes more sense when it's Pater Rika. Pater means stone, Ika means one. And the I is really not necessary because it's an English word, but it's an Indo-European beginning of this word, and the origins of the word is an Indo-European one. And Patarika means he's one stone, which means he's got a 7-shaped nose or he's involved in drug dealing. Either way, that's what that means in Urdu. And it's not easy for me to explain these things because it is a kidnapping and they have me on a hidden camera. And then they lit school to the fire. They lit fire to the school that I went to, and they made me a witness. And you call fire in Urdu ag, and it was fire means agwa, which also means kidnap. So agwa and agwa gwa means it was a fire. I was a witness to fire, and it was a fire, and it also means kidnapped. It was a fire. So they made me a witness to my high school arson. I can name the people who did it because I saw them do it. And two of them went to Temple Primary School. One of them was a stranger who later became my friend, who I realised was a friend of me. Because he took me to Hindley Prison where I got hit with hammers on the head by the guy that lit the school fire, by one of the guys that lit the school fire. So they were friends acting like they were enemies, and they beat me up. And they tried to kill me with a hammer on my head, and I survived. And they've been collecting ransom money and ransom sniff by planting drugs in the walls and in the house on the ceilings. As you can see, they've lowered the ceiling. Now, I don't know what they've put in there, whether they've put drugs in there or they've put money in there. But what they normally do is they put me in a mental hospital for 3 months or for 2 months or for 1 month. And within that month, they get in here, they clean the ransom money out, and then they reset the ceiling. And then they keep doing that. And downstairs, there's 2 new walls. One of them looks like it's got paste in it, as in it's got cocaine paste in it. So that's what the drug dealers do. They're always friends with builders. They build houses. They build walls in houses where they plant the drugs so the police can't find them. And 321's one of them houses. It equals Kaaba. 3 is C. 2 is 1. B. A is 1. Kaaba. Kaaba is a Muslim thing. The Kaaba is the holy place, but it's also a number, 321. And every 321 house number has an Arab or a black person or a hidden kidnapped child living in it with drugs planted in the walls, because the Arabs stone the pillars. In the devil is the pillar in Islam, and they stone the pillars, and from the word pillar comes the word caterpillar. So the cats are the ones they stone with drugs, and it's a hidden secret between Muslims and the drug dealers within the Muslims that they stone the cats on drugs. The cat-eyed people, blue and green-eyed people, they put them on drugs, they steal the sperm, and then they produce wives for themselves. And then they teach them how to worship the goddess Kali through Islam. And that's one of the things they do. There's so many things they do that you'd be surprised. It's not easy being white because you don't understand how many plots are against you. And being brown as well, I'm brown and I'm plotted against. So they plot against the browns, they plot against the whites, they plot against the whites more than the browns. They use the browns as weapons against the whites. And that's why the whites hate everyone, but the whites don't know how badly they're plotted against, especially the blue and green-eyed ones. And then they have the sperm stolen, they don't know. Some high-class prostitute steals the sperm. Next minute, no, they're having babies in Africa, which are drug mules. And they're slaves, sex slaves to Arabs and Pakistanis and Indians and Africans and Jamaicans. And I need Interpol because I'm a witness to all of this and I'm a victim of all of this. And I've become used to my foster family that's raised me. So I've got Stockholm syndrome. I'm attached to my mother because of all the pain in my life. The mother was the only comfort. And my sisters and my brother used to hit me, and then I used to wait until my mum comes home. And then when my mum came home, they'd stand behind her and they'd make faces at me. And I would explain to mum, look, they're making faces. And every time she turned around, they'd be acting normal. So eventually they sent me mental. And I need Interpol because the British police can't handle this. They're scared. And they could get bribed very easily. And they've got an empire on stealing stolen sperm in the NHS anyway. The NHS has got black nurses and Indian nurses which steal sperm and sell drugs and smuggle drugs. They had an option of having European nurses, but they chose black and Indian nurses because they have hostages in Kashmir, and because of the hostages in Kashmir, the Africans are dictating who gets jobs and who gets hired and who gets fired, and the whites can't do anything because they're powerless, just like I'm powerless, because if we say anything, then the hostages in Kashmir get harmed, and there's limbless hostages with the arms chopped off and the legs chopped off, crawling in Kashmir, and she's woken up because I'm telling the truth. Go back to your room. She's one of them. She works for them. She's Shaheen Salim, NHS Shaheen Salim, NHS Salim. So go to your bedroom. Anyway, I need Interpol. She's threatening to put me in a mental hospital. See what I mean? Because I'm telling the truth. She's threatening to put me in a mental hospital. And they can't get away with this for too long. So I need Interpol. And the mental hospital should be burnt down. We need Interpol. The country needs to go to war against itself. We need a civil war because the blacks are running the country and they hold hostages and they're dictating who gets hired and who gets fired because of the hostages, and Interpol's powerless, the police are powerless, the NHS is running around producing black babies, running around selling drugs, planting drugs in walls, in houses, and cash in houses. They want cash money because electronic money can disappear, and everyone could have electronic money and we could have 3 or 4 credit cards, but if you're involved in criminal activities then the money could disappear, so kidnap ransoms would disappear. But they want cash, they want paper money, or they want sniff so they can sell sniff, and they want cash. So we want Interpol. And let me just see what the news has to say, because I've read a code where the Signal film, Mark, where you write, because the blacks have hostages, there's a code, I can't remember the code right now, but it's on my YouTube channel. It's on it's on Instagram. The blacks have hostages and they signal to the TV news what to say. And the news says a bit of what the police wants to say, but it also says what the Africans want to say. And the Africans generally point at me to shut me up or to scare me through the crimes they've committed around me. And they tried to blackmail me about school fire that I was a witness to. They tried to say you started it when I was a witness to it. And I explained to you how Agua meant he was kidnapped. And that's just one thing. There's also other crimes that they've committed around me, car crimes, crashes and things like that, and they run me over as well. So I need Interpol.
Starmer chairs his final cabinet meeting before facing his last Prime Minister's questions as Labour leader. We'll bring you the latest live on the clashes from noon ahead of Andy Burnham's move into Downing Street next week. Social media curfew for 16 and 17.
Number 10 means number das, which means tell the number.
We speak to the son of a British couple jailed in Iran after Craig Foreman is told he'll be detained for 2 more years.
Iran means NHS. Iran. Ran means NHS. Nas. NHS means Nas, which means NHS in Urdu, which means run in Urdu. Anyway, this is as long as the video is going to be because I've got to upload it. And I hope someone reaches these videos and sends them to Interpol.